Hey Alpha Fam, Coach Jam here with another market update. Before we begin, I do want to say that nothing in this channel is financial advice. Everything's for educational purposes only. It's just my own analysis on the market. Also, if you're new to the Alpha Syndicate channel, if you could please give us a like, comment, and a subscribe. We really do appreciate the support. So let's get into the market, guys. So I'll be honest. Before I made this, I intentionally waited to make this video this morning until after the data came out because of how important the data was. All right? We just got really good inflation data, guys. Really good. We got core inflation year over year. They're coming at 2.5. We've got inflation rate month over month has dropped to 0.2. We got inflation rate year over year has come down to 2.4. They were predicting it, forecasting at 2.5. This is a big deal, guys. And then we have core inflation month over month, which is the only thing that was a little kind of weird. It said 0.3. They were previous was 0.2. But again, because all the other inflation readings were so good, this was actually something that I expected to happen, guys. I've been waiting for this inflation data to come out, and the reason why is I wanted to see if the Fed were going to lie. Straight up. I just wanted to see if the Fed were going to be honest, because we know for a fact we track inflation data, guys, off of Trueflation, and we've known this whole time that inflation has been dropping consistently. Trueflation is posting at 0.72%, guys. All right. So seeing this data come out, this is a big reason why we're getting this reaction in the market right now, guys, which is this push up. All right. And honestly, guys, this could have been the perfect timing for this. I'll be honest. And the reason I say that is the stock market's concerning me a little bit. And what I mean by that is this was yesterday's stock market on the 5-minute channel, or on the 5-minute chart, guys. You can see just completely just the last few days just been kind of just free falling. All right. This doesn't look good. We don't want the broader stock market to do a corrective. And the reason why is this is just not showing me a lot of strength right now, guys. You can see as we've been moving up from this zone, you can see how this was showing strength, making higher highs, higher lows. And now this thing has just been chopping sideways. This could be two things. It could be a consolidation area, getting ready to break out, or it could be getting ready to do a distro. And if it's going to do a distro, guys, and we know what the distros look like based upon the Wyckoff. All right, so this thing makes this move up, it starts chopping sideways, and what we don't want is the downturn to happen and the stock market do a major correction, moves down and decides it wants to come back down to some of these lower levels, because what will happen is it's going to bring crypto down with it. All right, a broader stock market correction will bring crypto down with it. And if we get a broader stock market correction and this thing doesn't show strength and break up to the upside and start making higher highs and higher lows and start a new uptrend and break out of this accumulation range soon, well, we could chop sideways for a little while. That is true. But most likely what's going to happen is this thing will end up not being able to break up, start rolling over, and then boop, and we'll drop down. And if that happens, guys, again, crypto will come with it. Now, I will give you guys a little bit of hopium here that regardless if this does happen, if we are in a bear markets typically bottom the March of that post, of the top. All right. So if we did top in, let's say Q4 in October, and we are in a bear market, every other bear market has always found a local bottom in March. We are in February. But the reason I'm saying this is if this happens, all right, guys, what would be the logical thing for Bitcoin to do, most likely, is it's probably going to want to come back down to the next level, which would be, and I don't wish this to happen, guys, but we have to deal with a set of probabilities here, so we want to prepare for this. If it would probably have to come into this order block, all right? And the reason why this one's so significant, guys, is this is the one from the Japan carry trade that resulted in this move up, and then this was the retest. So you can see this was its accumulation zone. Once it broke out of its accumulation zone, it did its spring, it did its retest, and then pushed up. This is what I was hoping was the case over here in the accumulation zone. But because we've broken down so far, again, I said it yesterday and said it the day before, we have to start showing strength and start moving up. The longer that we're down here, guys, and we've been down here for quite a few days now, is the more likely that this was not a spring, this is not the retest, and instead this thing is just kind of going to chop sideways and then roll down a little bit further. And then finally create that accumulation range that we've been talking about. And then if that's the case and we find this in March, then I would expect probably shortly after, because you have to think, guys, and I'll say it again, even if regardless of what happens, I still think 2026 is going to be a very explosive year for crypto. All right. And the reason behind that is because of the macro setting that we have. Looking at things like the inflation data coming out really good, guys. We've got Jerome Powell being replaced here soon. We hopefully got stimulus checks coming. All of these things are going to allow the market to go risk on sometime this year. And if they decide they want to let this kind of occur first before that happens, well then, hey, so be it. If that's the case, and again, I've said this several times, if you didn't sell back in the $120,000 range and you're still holding your bags, to me, I wouldn't be looking to try to de-risk in this little zone right here to try to re-enter back in here, all right? Because it doesn't really make sense. You might as well just be patient, hold your bags, allow these things to play out, because regardless, what I would be doing is what I'm going to be doing is I'm accumulating stable coins right now, preparing if this does happen that I can accumulate more blue chip assets at basically free prices, guys. A lot of this stuff is like essentially free right now if you look at it, all right? It's crazy how cheap some of this stuff has gotten, especially considering what's actually occurred and what crypto is doing. And then you have to look at other things, guys, like, for instance, the Coinbase stock. It came out really bad earnings yesterday. So Coinbase stock has been getting beat up. But none of that really matters when you're looking at the adoption, like what's actually happening behind the scenes. Just like Goldman Sachs made an announcement the other day that they're holding billions of dollars worth of crypto. Everybody's accumulating, everybody's buying, everybody is setting themselves up to be able to offer these products to their clients. The only thing that you have to do is not allow the market to FUD you out. Understand what's going on, build some conviction, make sure that you're holding the right assets, because everything is not going to run, guys. It's just not. You have to be very specific. You're even probably going to hold a couple of duds in your portfolio, and that's all right. As long as I tell this to people all the time, you don't need 10 out of 10 home runs. Really, 2 home runs, you can have 8 duds. Them 2 home runs are going to make up for all of the losses. Seriously. You have to understand what's going on. Take a deep breath. I tell this to my guys, go touch some grass. If it's stressing you out that much, and I understand it's money. People seeing their portfolios and their net worths fluctuate, it's a very stressful thing. But if you understand what you're doing, you understand what you're participating in, and you understand what crypto is actually solving, the problems it solves, then you will allow that to help kind of reinforce your conviction to be able to hold through these, downturns, the parts of the market that people don't really like to participate in. And this is the reason why the people that make the most money in these markets, they don't leave. They're not tourists. They're here 24/7. They don't just come when it gets good and leave when it gets bad. They stay completely. I tell this to everybody. You have to stay engaged. As soon as you disconnect, you're going to start missing the opportunities. You're not going to be able to keep track of things. You have to keep engaged in this market in order to actually learn how to outperform it, guys. That's simple. People that invest, in serious investors, or even people that invest for their retirements, guys, they don't just invest one time and walk away. No, they're continuously inputting and engaging and adding to their portfolios consistently and consecutively over the course of 10, 15, 20, 25 years. Why do you think it's any different for any other investment vehicle? All right. So with this being said, guys, waiting for the U.S. market to open. I'm very interested to see how it comes. Looking at the futures market, guys, we're starting to get an obvious bounce in that just from this inflation data that just came out this morning, guys, which is looking pretty good. You have NASDAQ that's starting to bounce from that inflation data, guys. This was a pretty big day for inflation to come out. We actually needed this data. I'll be honest with you guys. This data coming out good was a really, really good thing. All right, guys. So with that being said, guys, and I always say this, if you're trying to learn this stuff, guys, if you want to learn how we connect the macro, the fundamentals, the technical analysis, and combine all of these things together to help us give the best opportunity and the best odds to be able to outperform this market, if you're looking for a place to be able to network with other entrepreneurs and people that are all working together, click the link below. We'll see you inside.